So within the Northwest, if you talk about peace, well, let me also accept that the Tinubu has.
We have today someone who is not new on the program and witnessed proceedings at the meeting. He is Dr. Awal Abdullahi, a Kaduna-based security expert. Welcome to the program, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
So quickly, let's go straight to our discussion. What is your assessment of the security situation in the Northwest?
Well, the security situation in the Northwest, just like in your opener, has been from better to worse. Worst in the sense that if you look at what was happening from 1999 to this very year 2021, you can see that there's a very serious deterioration of security situation in Nigeria and in Northwest in particular. Most recently, like you and I and every listener and watcher of this program knows that the situation has become so worse to the level that you cannot just sleep with your two eyes closed now, or you cannot travel on the way without looking back because you don't know what likely is going to be behind you, or even if you are in your home, you don't know what is coming to your home, because at the very beginning it used to be a situation where these bandits, kidnappers, cattle rustlers, wait on the road to waylay people, but it has gone to the level where they now follow you to your home to pick you up or destroy, kill and destroy your property, and in most cases cut away with the women and what have you. So honestly, the situation is really very, very bad, and then it calls for a very serious, decisive, articulated intervention if truly the security situation is to be curtailed from what it is to what it's supposed to be. This is the present situation, and we hope that approaches as it has been initiated by so many different quarters, just like you in your opener, we hope these initiatives and different approaches that are coming up now will help in solving this very situation. But until that time, as at the moment, the situation, like I said, is really getting from bad to worse. And then if something is not done and done as fast as possible and as effective as possible, just like the National Assembly yesterday or so, some members of the National Assembly are already calling the president to declare state of emergency in security. And if you look at the country, Northwest, the entire northern Nigeria, and in fact the entire country, you will agree that we are almost getting to that very situation where there will be need for the declaration of a state of emergency in security.
Okay, we'll come to that. But before we do that, let's look at past attempts to address this problem. What can you say about the previous attempts made before we begin to discuss this meeting?
Well, you see, every leadership has its own style. Every administration has its own method. The past attempt by the past leaders, if you like, you would put it, you cannot just zero it and say that they have not made any effort. Saying so would be unfair to them and to the system, most especially those that were part of, rightly and directly part of those situations that either lost their lives or got injured out of it. So for you want to say that they have not done anything will be unfair to them, and also be unfair to those that were directly involved in those security challenges or situations, those that face the fire the way it comes. So I would say that fair enough, they've come, they did what they think they can do, and then they left. But the issue is, what they did was not good enough. Even the president said it, that this past approach was not good enough. He has said it in one of his meetings with the security chiefs, that when they said they're doing their best, he said that your best was not good enough. And that has been the clamor and the call as at that time for the president to seriously look at the method, the strategy that was being adopted as at that time on the challenge of security, and then ask the chiefs to rearrange or reorganize or re-strategize for a better approach and effectiveness in carving the security, or for him to rejig the security system and then relieve them of their appointment and bring in new people that will come with new thinking, new vigor, new valor, new approach, new strategy in tackling the security challenges. Eventually, at the end of the day, the president hit to the call of Nigerians as he was being elected by them, so he should listen to them. So he eventually listened to Nigerians, and then he relieved those ones of the appointment and appoint another ones that are now adopting different approach. So fair enough, the past ones did what they can do, but what they did was not too good enough to solve the security situation in the country. In fact, if not because we want to be fair to them, one would have said that they didn't really do what they were expected to do, because the situation they met, the situation they met the country in terms of security as at the time they were appointed, by the time they were leaving, it was worse, like I said. As at the time they were appointed security chiefs, you remember, and every Nigerian will also remember, that we only had issue of Boko Haram insurgency. But by the time we progresses under their leadership as security chiefs, that was when we started having the issue of cattle rustling. From cattle rustling, the issue of kidnapping become, and next banditry. So one would technically, if you look at it technically in terms of security analysis and then architecture, you would say that they did not really do well. In fact, their leadership or their tenure was not helpful in terms of security, if you look at it technically. But if you look at it on a general note, you would say that, well, as human beings, under their leadership, they tried to adapt the method and strategies that they think will help, but eventually, like I said, I repeat what the president said, that their best was not good enough. But then, so be it as it may, they were there, they have left now. We have a new set of security chiefs. We hope that these ones will be better than the ones we have earlier. In any case, we're expecting improvement. Even the president is expecting those ones to do better. If that was why on their appointment, when he met them, he said to them, I have nothing much to say to you about security. You know everything. You know what is on ground. I'm only expecting results. So it is not an issue of talk. It is going to be an issue of action, and positive results. I guess that was where they are trying to come up with some initiatives that will help in carving the security situation, since their predecessors didn't really succeed the way they were expected to succeed.
And all eyes are on them now.
All eyes are on them, yes.
So looking at the meeting itself, compared to other meetings, you were there.
Yes, I was.
What would you say about that? How can you compare this meeting with past meetings, similar meetings that were held to try to find solution to this?
Well, the differences between this very meeting or approach and the previous ones are two fundamental differences. The first fundamental difference is that this very approach is different from the previous approach, because the previous approach will only get the leadership, that is the security leadership at the national level and the security leadership at the state level, come together and discuss security situations or challenges within a state or a region. In fact, there was no regional meeting in terms of coming up with the service chiefs or security chiefs at the highest level, coming to meet with the chief executive officers at the highest level and converging together at the same time to discuss security. It usually used to be an individual thing, moving from state to state, that is the previous security chiefs, and not all of them moving at the same time. They either go individually, this one will go to a state and the other one is in the other state discussing with the chief security officer of the state, that is the governor, and things like that. So their approach was being individualistic in manner. But this very present approach is not individualistic. It was a holistic approach and movement in the terms of the services moving as a team with the National Security Advisor, also coming to meet like the one that has been the attempt in the Northwest states now, that all the 7 governors of the Northwest converge in the same place in Kaduna here, and then meeting with the security chiefs, and then inviting some people that are expected to make 1 or 2 presentations. This first is the fundamental differences between the past approach and the present approach. The past approach has been individualistic. The present approach is being holistic. This is the first difference. The second difference is that in the past, even if for any reason you have one or two of the service or security chiefs going to a state, it is not going to be a regional thing, it is a state thing. They are only discussing, like I said, with the chief security officers of the state alone. Maybe with emirs, first class emirs, maybe chairman of the council of chiefs, or even if you converge the number of emirs in the state and then coming with the chief executive of the state, maybe with one or two of the security chiefs on the national level, the discussion is just within them. It is not going down to the ladder. But the present approach is an approach that will involve every stakeholder that has to do first with security and those that are affected directly by the security challenges. Here, it is an approach that is all encompassing, all embracing, it is all galvanizing, it is all juxtaposing, that everybody will come and they will all discuss security as security, problem of security as problem of security, and trying to find a solution. Again, here, it is not an issue of the chief executive officers of the state addressing the people, or the chief security officers at the national level addressing the people. No, it is in turn this time around, the reverse is the case. It is the people that will be addressing the chief security officers at the national level and the chief security officers at the state, telling them this is our problem, this is our challenges, and this is the way we think the problem or challenges can be solved. These are the two different fundamental differences between the past and the present approach. And here I will have to commend the National Security Advisor for this great and wonderful initiative. In fact, it is an initiative that truly, if truly followed, if holistically, patriotically, nationalistically followed, I can guarantee you it will assist 98% in solving the security situation.